Hi everyone, this is Jennifer Stay with Coloring Pages Bliss, and we are on part 6 of the Sharpie Coloring Secrets series. So let's get going. Alright, so there's been a lot of talk about these new markers called the Chameleon markers. So we're going to call part 6 the Chameleon effect with Sharpie markers. Okay, so what we're going to do basically is use 2 Sharpie markers and transfer some of the ink from one Sharpie marker into the tip of the second Sharpie marker, and it's going to give us a gradient of color. And it's really fun, and it's almost like magic trick. I've shown this a little bit before in another video, and I will put a link to this video, including some of my thoughts and feelings about the Chameleon markers, which are a lot of fun to play with, but aren't my favorite. And so when I discovered this trick, it was really exciting to me, and so that's why I'm including it again in this series. And so let's learn how to do this chameleon effect. The only hard and fast rule to this is that you always use alcohol-based to alcohol-based when you're transferring inks. You can also use this with your water-based markers. So go ahead and pull out your water-based markers to test this out, and I demonstrate that also in that other video. So alcohol-based ink to alcohol-based ink, and I'm going to put the lightest color is going to be the one that's going to receive the darkest ink. And so I'm going to be putting it tip to tip, but I'm going to hold it vertically like this so that gravity can help transfer that ink. And basically I'm going to put them tip to tip, kiss them together, and count to about 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. And if you look at that tip, you may be able to see a touch of blue on there. Okay, now as I color, the first color that's going to come out is that blue that we just transferred to the tip, and then it's going to gradiate to the pretty pink. It's just like magic, and it's so cool and fun, and you can use these on all kinds of coloring and art. If you wanted to have a really pretty petal on a flower, have 2 different colors like this, and it is so easy and fun, and you get that beautiful blend of colors. It's so cool. Now you don't have to use just these larger tipped markers. You can use your ultra fine points as well. And this one we're going to use kind of 2 shades of color here, and do the same idea, tip to tip, alcohol based to alcohol based. I'm going to put the lightest on the bottom, dark on the top. Now these are a little trickier to kiss together because they're so tiny, but we can still do it. And kiss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. And here we go. Wow, look at that. Right down and back to the original color. Now the longer you kiss those tips together, the more ink will transfer to the bottom marker, and you'll get a bigger gradation between the 2. So it's pretty cool. You have all this control, and you can experiment and play around with it. So this is a really fun thing, especially to teach to little kids. They are just going to think you're like magic. It's really fun. Now, my son, who is 19 years old, came up with another way for us to do this. Now, he said, what if you used a cotton swab, Mom, and some regular alcohol? It doesn't have to be any kind of special alcohol, rubbing alcohol. And I'm going to put a little bit of this into a container. And I'm going to fill the tip of my cotton swab with that rubbing alcohol. Okay, and then this is basically going to act like a colorless blender for me. And we're going to fill the tip of this marker here with a colorless alcohol ink. And then we should get a really pretty blend here. So again, tip to tip, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. about like that. And I don't know if you can see it. If I hold it real still, you can see that that tip is just a tiny bit lighter now, where that clear alcohol has transferred into the tip of your marker. And now let's see if we can color it out. So it's going to come out lighter at first, and then it'll go darker and darker and back to the original ink color. Very cool, just like magic. So you don't need a colorless blender. All you need is an alcohol swab and a little rubbing alcohol, and you can get this chameleon effect with your alcohol markers, with your Sharpies. It's very cool. So much fun to play around with and experiment with. You can do all kinds of coloring and art with this effect, and you don't need any special tools. So this is part 6. If you like this cool technique that I just taught you and my 19-year-old son figured out, please give this video a like, share it to someone that you think is going to like this cool effect, and let's move on to part 7 and our last part of this amazing Sharpie Coloring Secret video series. Thanks, we'll see you at part 7. Bye-bye.